going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You know who it is by now,
Jimothy.
So ladies and gents, we are back a little bit later than scheduled, mainly because I attended an OTS yesterday or Sunday, depending on when you watch this video, and I decided to just go for the memes, and I took Pure Ritual Dogmatica. Did not do too well, got absolutely obliterated by some quote-unquote meta decks, so it was to be expected, and I wasn't really taking the event too seriously. I just wanted to just play something fun. But anyway, we are back. The market does not stop moving, ladies and gents, and we are looking towards the future, especially with Duelist Nexus round the corner. There's a few cards I've kind of got my eye on just going forward, so without wasting any more time, let's just get straight into it. Now, the first card that I've kind of like started to think about was Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, and more specifically the secret rare out of Shining Victories. There is the I believe it's an OTS super rare, and there's also a dual power ultra rare. But obviously Yu-Gi-Oh players, they love their shiny cards, ladies and gents, and with Revolution Synchron being a card in Duelist Nexus, this along with the next card that I'm going to talk about are seeing some potential uptick. Now, as you can see, listings are super low here. Got one listing with 3 copies at £12.50. so if you do have this, ladies and gents, and you've got this in abundance, you could be sitting on a little bit of money. Crystal Wing's always been a decent card. It's always been a staple, like £5-ish card, but with the release of Revolution Synchron, it seems to be going up. So if you do have this card, you could consider like shifting it and making a little bit of return on your investment. Next card, obviously I wanted to talk about Baron de Fleur, probably or arguably the best rank 10 in the game. Basically, it does a lot. It negates, it pops. We all know what Baron does, and obviously there's not a lot of copies on the market, and it's kind of held in price, to be honest. Since Battle of Legends has come out, it's been roughly around about £50, so seeing it at like 52.44, it's not too shabby. I can only see this going up once people start messing around with Revolution Synchron, and once people have got their hands on it, it's going to be a more expensive card, just because Baron's basically Nibiru protection. If you can get it up under 5 summons, which is becoming increasingly more easy to do, it's going to go up in value just because of that negate that it offers. So yeah, keep an eye on this card, ladies and gents, and I probably wouldn't sell it now if you've got multiple copies of this. I'd probably hold it until the release of Duelist Nexus, when people start getting their bits and they just need a Baron to kind of like finish off their extra deck. Next, ladies and gents, Dark Hole, most specifically the secret rare out of Battles of Legends, Monstrous Revenge. Now, the reason I'm looking at this card again, ladies and gents, the first and foremost is a penny stunk at the moment, as for a secret rare you could potentially get a playset for less than like £3. Look, if you're looking here, you're looking at like 50p for a secret rare, 75p. So if you just do a little bit of shopping around, ladies and gents, you could potentially get it cheaper, or you could just get it thrown in with some trades. There is a release of a card called Dark Hole Dragon, which looks absolutely crazy. The artwork on that card is just mad, which just allows you to search Dark Hole, ladies and gents. So having a secret rare copy that's easily accessible at the moment and at a very cheap price, this is a no-brainer for me. I've already got a playset. I've just purchased another playset, and I'm potentially going to purchase just like one more, just to hold on to just potentially like shift later on, like down the line, basically, especially when the release of Dark Hole Dragon comes out and these singles start to kind of like diminish from the market. So definitely worth keeping an eye on, ladies and gents. If you haven't got your playset, I'd probably pick them up right now. The next card that I wanted to talk about is Super Polymerization. Now, obviously Super Poly is not so much in the format at the moment, but there is a card coming out called Magnum the Reliever, which is a fusion monster which allows you to recur one of your spells or your fusion spells from your graveyard and then draw a card, which is just absolutely crazy. So Super Poly obviously fits in that bracket alongside like Polymerization, Greater Polymerization, if you've ever played that card. I don't think I've ever seen anyone play that card, but nevertheless, Magnum the Reliever can put it back on the bottom of your deck and draw a card. So definitely a nice effect there. It does have an additional effect that I can't remember off the top of my head, but you have to have one of those fusion spells in graveyard. I think you can pop a card if you banish a fusion spell or something along those lines. I'll leave the card on the screen for you guys to kind of like check out. But super poly, secret rare, very cheap, less than £5, ladies and gents. £2. Look what you're seeing here. You can get a playset for like £6. If you're looking like shipping and all that kind of stuff, you're looking towards like £7-8 for a playset of secret rare super poly. No brainer in my opinion. This card's gonna go up, whether it's like, I don't know, 2-1 on the ban list, it will go up and it will see play, ladies and gents. It sees play intermittently depending on what's in the format, but branded have kind of like taken a back seat, but at any point they could just return, especially with the prevalence of like light and dark decks. Branded and super poly just go well together, kind of like beans on toast, so definitely keep that in mind. The next set of cards, oh my days, complete buyout. Oh my days. All right, ladies and gents, this is crazy. So obviously I set up my tabs just before market watch, and this actually had a couple of listings, but it's just completely gone. And this is specifically the ultra rare out of the 2020 megatins. Obviously Unchained support are coming out in Duelist Nexus, and I was just about to speak about this because I'm actually shifting a core at the moment and I'm getting a few trades that I needed. I've got 2 cores of Unchained, so I decided to just shift the additional one that I had, and this card is money. So Unchained Soul of Rage roughly is about £10 the last time I checked, but as you can see, ladies and gents, gone from the market. Now this is specifically looking at the UK, so obviously if you're from other regions you might have access to like more copies, but just in the UK this is gone, ladies and gents. And I believe the last listing I seen was like £10. So let's just check Unchained Abomination. So Abomination's still here, ladies and gents, £9.89. I think the other expensive card was Abomination's Prison. Let me just see if I can get that up as well. Just give me a moment. Let's just live editing, ladies and gents. Abomination's Prison. Alright, we'll go for the 2020. Oh my gosh, this is gone as well. This is crazy. Alright, so if you are sitting on these cards, ladies and gents, as you've seen, there's just literally no copies anywhere in the UK, on card market anyway. So if you are coming across this in locals, or you do sit on a few copies like myself, shift them. It's probably the best time whilst the hype is high. Just get rid of these cards. This is money that you're sitting on basically. So oh boy, what can I say? Unchained look like, I didn't realize how popular Unchained was, to be fair. That is crazy. All right, another Unchained card, which is quote unquote not an Unchained card, is Muckracker from the Underworld. Now Unchained do lock you into fiends, with Muckracker being a fiend. Crazy. It was already being played in Dark World, but with the relevance or the resurgence of Unchained, you're probably going to see this card a lot more. Now looking at the listings, this card has literally doubled in price from a couple of months ago. It was around about the 7s or 8s, but you're looking like £14 a copy. This is crazy. I think that's about how much I paid for my playset 11, because I think I was buying them at like £5 at one stage, which is just mad. But yeah, if you are sitting on this card, ladies and gents, and you don't need this is literally trade bait, or it's £15 in your pocket, ladies and gents. No messing around. So if you've got this card and you don't need it, shift it, sell it. You know what to do. This is crazy. This is absolutely blowing my mind. Anyway, moving on. IP Masquerena slowly starting to creep up. I think I checked on this card in the last market watch, or the previous one before that. It's currently like £3. I keep saying this card's criminal at this price, especially how much it was before. I'm sure it was up to like 17, 18, 19 pounds previously. So I'll be honest, I've got a couple of copies of this card coming, and I'm probably going to be inclined to buy another couple of cards. If your deck can play this card, you probably will be playing it, just because it's such a great card, especially if you can use the link climb facility. Like IP Masquerade is just crazy. So definitely something worth to keep an eye on, ladies and gents, and just pick this card up if you haven't already. Next, on to some dinosaur hype. Looking at Evolsar Lagia to start off with. Now, this ain't actually too bad. £1.50 for the Duelist Saga. Is it Ultras? Yeah, Duelist Saga Ultra Rare. So inexpensive at the moment. I'm not even going to look at the gold rares, because just people just tend to just not like gold rares, or premium golds as it were. But the Duelist Saga Ultra rares, ladies and gents, £1.50, worth keeping an eye on. The dinosaur hype is still there. It's getting a little bit more support with some of the Evolsar stuff that's coming out, so definitely worth keeping an eye on this and on Evolsar Dokka. Now for the Dokka, I've gone for the Photon Shockwave Secret rare, sorry, and this card's actually quite high in price. I think I originally bought mine a few years ago when I was looking to play Shadow Dinos for about £10, and it's still that now, so just worth keeping in mind. Again, if you've got this card, you might want to shift it. If you are looking to play Dinos, it's probably a good time to kind of like pick this up, because the quantity of this one specifically is just going to go down, so worth keeping in mind. Right, onto the fire hype, ladies and gents. Looking at Infernobles, which looks to be a crazy deck. Pac was speaking about this recently in a video, and I just decided to look at the Toon Chaos Ultra rares. I didn't bother going to the collector's rares, just because that's just like a whole nother market that I'm still trying to get my head around it anyway. But for the first edition Ultras, they're £15. Wow, that's crazy. So the reason why I'm saying it's crazy, ladies and gents, is because it recently got a reprint in, what was it, Amazing Defenders as a super rare, which is literally a penny stunk, so you don't need to pay this price. Obviously certain Yu-Gi-Oh players like to just max rarity their deck, so they'll probably go for the collector's rares anyway. So if you are going max rarity, there's no point in paying for this. You might as well just go and buy the collector's rares. But it's worth noting, if you are sitting on just like the ultras like I am, it's probably worth shifting them, just because the super rares are like 15p. So yeah, it's like a no-brainer. Let's check on Immortal Phoenix Gearfried for the same reason. Again, not as extensive as the Infernoble Knight Renaud, just because I don't think it's got as much application. Renaud's a nice extender and a bit of retrieval. Gearfried just a hard negate, so Gearfried at 6 is not too bad if you did want to just go like quote unquote semi-max rarity. But again, if you're gonna max rarity, you probably just go for the collector's rare anyway. But yeah, not a bad shout. £6, it's okay. I don't even know, it's probably worth just shifting this if you do have these anyway, so yeah. Next up, Altergeist. Now, I specifically wanted to just look at a couple of the secret rares that came out of Brothers of Legend, most notably Pukari. Again, this is a penny stunk. I think Altergeist is like a budget deck now, so I can't imagine the subsequent cards that have came out after the main core has been around for so long would be like extensively expensive. So looking at 39p, 40p for a copy, like again, this is like a no-brainer. I've seen Altergeist cores go for like £10, so it's definitely worth picking these up if you're looking to play Altergeist. If not, then just hold on to this card. It's not probably worth shifting it at this price because it's literally a penny stunk. Let's check on Memory Gun, which is also out of Brothers of Legend. This is like your OTK button for Altergeist, and it's currently less than like £2 at the moment, so definitely worth keeping an eye on. Very, very inexpensive. If you're looking to play Altergeist, ladies and gents, it's worth just like, you know, investing. Multifaker, same reason, £1 for the 2019 Prismatic Secret Rare. Yeah, penny stunk, not worth saying, not really worth talking about too much, but if you do want to get it, now's a good time. Right, onto a couple of tech picks for me, ladies and gents. Herald of the Abyss. Now, the reason I'm looking at this card specifically is just with a view towards the future. Pirelli is still a deck, and it does some horrible things. Like, it had a good showcasing in the NAWCQ, and in the locals that I attend, specifically like in the midweek, there's a player that plays Pirelli's, and it's very, very difficult to play against. So it's worth just keeping an eye on this card. This card was money when Pirelli's seemed to be like a meta threat, and it just skyrocketed in price, but now it seems to kind of like cooled off a little bit, so it's probably a good time to pick it up, especially at like £1.46. I don't know where this listing is going with £15. That's amazing. But yeah, a nice little tech pick there, and it kind of answers some of the other boards that are out there. Typically most boards are putting up an Omni Negate right now, so it's probably worth baiting the Omni Negate with something like Herald of the Abyss, which will allow some of your other cards to go through depending on what your hand is saying. So definitely worth a good shout there, and maybe just pick up a playset. The other card I wanted to talk about was XYZ Encore. Again, dinosaurs, Pirelli's still a deck, Sprite is even still a deck, ladies and gents. So this card answers a number of those strategies, so it's definitely worth keeping in mind. It is a little bit pricey just because of its printing, but it's a very, very powerful card. And at £10, I mean, if you've got a bunch of cards to trade, it's probably worth trading for, but I probably wouldn't buy it because I could potentially smell a reprint soon. I know Konami likes to look at the secondary market and kind of like have a think about what it's going to be reprinting, and this card is definitely a candidate for a reprint just because it's so old, but then again, so effective. But yeah, that is it, ladies and gents. We have ended another market watch. If there are any cards you feel like I should be talking about, definitely get at me in that comment section below. And we've arrived at the end of another video. If you did like this content, you know what to do by now. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, all of that beautiful good stuff, and I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.